In this video, we're going to go through Apptronik's Smart Nav rear view mirror in detail and all the applications that come with it. We'll start with the base function here. Here's your one screen now instead of two. They got rid of some of their applications and icons that were of any real use anymore. You have your DVR continuous recorder here. You long press the button to bring up your DVR recorder. It records everything you hear and see. You can mute the interior cab by this button here and then unmute it. You can switch back by again long pressing. It goes back to your home screen. There's an SD card on the right hand side for the DVR recorder. It's again continuous, it always records. It's great for accidents, not at fault accidents, prove you weren't speeding, vandalism, stuff like this. If you want to shut the mirror down but have it still running or just a display to shut down, you just one touch the same button. To bring it back up, you hit it again. And again, to go to the DVR recorder, you long press it until that screen comes up. The rear view camera, when the car is put in reverse, automatically comes up. We have a couple different version cameras. One is the LED cameras, which are really nice. It makes it a lot easier to see. It's in HD and it's on the 5-inch screen. Let's start with the GPS application here.
Welcome to Drive with GPS radar detector. Please fasten your seatbelt and drive carefully. RF connection success.
Okay, this is your Drive application. This is what you want to use when you're driving. Notice the RF connection is your radar, means it's connected now to the mirror. Your Navi A is where your GPS software is located. Your alert mute speed, I'll show you that in a moment. That means that you will not be alerted to radar until you hit 80 miles per hour. This here, the position valid, is very important. If it's invalid, do not attempt to run your GPS software. It will just continue to look for that satellite signal. Typically it takes 2 to 3 seconds to lock in when the car started, but if something happened and it lost connection and you try to use your navigation, it may freeze the mirror. There's a reset button on the back to reset the mirror if it does freeze. It is a computer, so you have to give it time. We'll start with the add location. We'll start with the settings first, actually. This is your settings page on the Drive system. This is where you have your X-band, K, KU, and KA. The new final version does not have X-band. No one uses it anymore, so they got rid of it. You also have your red light cameras and your speed traps as well. I'm going to show you some previews of
Radar X-band.
Of how you'll be alerted.
Radar K-band. Radar KU band. Radar KA band. Radar laser.
That's a laser detector, not a diffuser. Law enforcement is supposed to hit you 3 times, so theoretically if they do hit you, you should be able to slow down in time. Here's your alert mute speed I was talking about on the other page. You can raise it or lower it, and you will be alerted at that speed. And then if you want to add a location that's not on the red light cameras or speed traps, you go to add location. You have mobile speed camera, pressure line speed control, plain road speed camera, expressway, accident black spot, which is real nice. So if you're coming up an area during the winter that's always a black spot, like over a bridge, you hit save, and every time you come to that area it's going to alert you that you're coming up to it, I think in 1,000 feet warning, which is a real nice feature. You have your compass and your speedometer gauge and your time. So that is your Drive function. Again, once you recognize that it is valid, which it will do every time within 2 to 3 seconds when the car started, you want to go to your Drive function or your GPS icon. Navi A is where your co-pilot software will be for navigation. You hit Navi A, the mirror will load Copilot at that point. It's a little bit later in the day, so you're getting the nighttime view. It will automatically switch to daytime view. You'll have your distance, your kilometers, your ETA for your distance on your trip or where you're going over to your right. You have a compass, which you can take on or off depending on your settings. I'm going to go to full screen. You would go here. Your settings are obviously right there. Your menu button. I'll give it to your settings, and you know, if you want to set certain locations as home, your favorite places to go, add POIs or take away POIs. That's about it. And again, Navi B you would use if you had another system that you wanted to upload yourself. If you check out Apptronik, you also find a further demonstration or a demo on Copilot to take you through each initial step. Again, you cannot change or add locations or anything like that while the car is in motion through Copilot. You'll have to stop if you want to change your direction or your location where you're headed. If you have a separate navigation system that you want to use, you can put it under Navi B. You go to Navigation, and then you would upload it to from your SD card, and you can use that navigation software. Next is the video player. This video player has been updated as well. It can play high-speed action films, just nearly about any format. Currently I have it set up on the mirror speakers. You can use your FM transmitter, or there's an AV-in, AV-out on the mirror now, that if you have an AV-in on your car, you can run it that way as well if you don't want to use the FM transmitter. Give you a sample.
In our possession.
I can see how during high speed and high action films, you're not getting that hesitation and skipping that you did before with the other SmartNav, the previous version. In one touch, you're going to get out of it. You can pause it, stop it, exit out of it. Now that's all uploaded on the SD card, which is on the bottom left of the mirror. It's up to 32 gig. That's where you put your movies, your music, and your photos. Your flash player you don't need. That's for use on the mirror. You have your ebook reader. Now the ebook reader, you hit search here, and it'll bring up your books. When you go to read them, let's see if we can find a book here worth reading. The current version here does not have the audio speech reader. The new final version does, so it can actually read your books to you. It's a real nice function to have. So what you would do is you would convert your ebooks to text format and load them on the SD card, and you can listen to your books either through the mirror or through the car speakers. If you go on a website, you'll find two specific videos, one on how to convert your ebooks to text, and the other how to use this system. Picture viewer, same thing, your SD card. Actually, we have the new interface on here. See if I can find it and show it to you. This is the new interface that's going to be on the final version mirror. So you're getting a first glance at that. You can play these as a movie as well. And we'll scroll through them one by one. I have Copilot on the actual SD card, so it's showing you the photos that are on Copilot. You can enlarge them, decrease them, and then over here go back and forth depending what photo you want to view. Just like that. Exit out. You can see the one touch is really phenomenal on this mirror. This is your FM transmitter. I can show you a sample of that. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to the car stereo. And then what we'll do is we'll go right to the music player and go ahead and play. The music player is for the your music selection that's uploaded to the SD card. Again, you have up to 32 gigs, so it's quite a lot of music. Your whole iTunes library can go on the card, and you can have it already in your car at all times. Again, you have the FM transmitter, the speakers in the mirror, or the AV out if you have an AV in on your car stereo. Pause it and exit out of it. Now, if you want to play this, exit out of it, you can still use the functions on the mirror, listen to your music. So if you want to use the navigation, you can, and when you get turn-by-turn directions, she'll speak over the music and the music will decrease so you can hear your turn-by-turn direction. I'm going to shut this down. Go back out of the FM transmitter. Your windows, that's actually locked out. That's for Apptronics to upload and change functions on the mirror. Here's your GPS test. This is pretty important. When you first get your mirror, the mirror might not get a signal depending on the location at first. What you want to do is you want to go into this application, pull the car outside of the garage and hit GPS reset. It will find those satellites, and because it's hardwired into the car and it has constant power to it, as well as accessory, it always keeps those locations of those satellites, so the next time you start your car it knows the positions of them, and that's why it's so quick to lock in on the satellites, so GPS is available immediately. But when you first get it, you may have to hit GPS reset and let it find its satellites. GPS path, I wouldn't recommend using this pathway to set your nav. I would use the drive settings under the drive where it's Navi A and Navi B. You'll have Copilot on your mirror already when you receive it, but if you want to upload your own, I would use the drive. I wouldn't use this one. This one's a little bit harder to use. Calculator. Your power source. This is where you can put the mirror to sleep. There's no reason to really do that. Sorry, I'm getting a text there. There's no really reason to do that. Your Bluetooth. Now, you can disable Bluetooth, so when the car starts, it does not pair to your phone. Here's your pairing button. Right now it's paired to my phone. You can unpair and pair and delete right here and do a search here as well. Then you go to pair. Your dial pad. Pretty simple. Now all this can be diminished when you're on a call. You don't have to view this if you're on a call or receiving a call. Here's your music selection. Now this is pretty cool. It's Bluetooth 4.0 with A2DP firmware, which means you can streamline your music from your smartphone. So not only do you have the music on the SD card, you have the music that's on your smartphone as well. So if you go ahead and press play, you can also control your music from your phone. So if you wanted to fast forward it or pause it, you can, or you can use the mirror itself. This was the application that one of the applications SmartNav was waiting on before they released the mirror, to make sure it's 4.0 Bluetooth, the best available Bluetooth out there, and the A2DP firmware for your smartphone integration. Let's say a BMW would charge anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for that system. Most dealers don't have that. The ones that do, it is quite expensive. This is your settings page. This is where you can rename the device so you can recognize it on your phone and change your PIN code for when you go to pair it. This is your PIN code. It's going to ask for your PIN code when you go to pair it. You're going to find it under the settings. It's always going to be the 4/8 when you receive it. But you can change it to what you like. Your call record, it's all right there. You can call them, delete them. It's all right there. So if you're not sure of the last person that called you and you don't have it, you can go to your call record and get it here. And that way your eyes are on the road or in the same peripheral vision instead of grabbing your phone and looking down. That's the whole point of the SmartNav, is that it's a safety mirror. A lot of people think it has too much or this or that. It's there so you're not distracted. It is a safety device. Your phone book. The phone book downloads in mere seconds. 2 to 3 seconds when you start the car, it will immediately download it. Okay. Your time. Now this format here, these greens and these yellows, these screens you're seeing are all being redone. The final Smart Nav will be grays and blacks, 12-hour format. So when you get yours, it's going to be a little bit different than this one. You would set your time and your date here and your time zone. Language you don't have to worry about, but it does have nearly every language you could think of. So if there's a guest in the car or someone that's borrowing your car and they would do better with a different language, you can do that here. Backlight, and this is really cool. You can set this so the mirror will dissipate and the display will go away after 10 seconds. So if you wait 10 seconds here, you'll see the mirror disappear. And that's a really nice function to have so it's not any distraction. So there it goes, it's gone. And to get it back, you simply touch this button again and it's back on. You get it back up. You have to reset it every time when you start the vehicle. Your systems, this just goes over what is all in the car or in the mirror. Your flash player, your memory, the GPS, the software, and stuff like that in the version of the mirror that you have. And that's basically the Smart Nav. The SD card again is over here for the digital recorder up front. When this red light and green light are on, it means it's recording. If you want to shut off the recorder, you can press this button here. It's actually the menu button. You see the green light goes out. The red light's the power button. The green light is the digital recorder, the DVR up front. And now it's recording again. Now if you press this button and it shuts that down, if you go to the DVR recorder, it's going to show you it's on the menu screen. And to turn it back on, you hit this menu button again and it's gone. And now it's going to start recording again. You can also view your recordings here as well. And then you would just take the SD card out of the mirror in the top right corner. You put it into your computer and it would automatically upload an ADR player so you can view every trip you've been on, either the whole trip or in minute increments. You can save them and share them, and it also shows you where you are on Google Maps as well while it's being filmed. I'll press and go back. And that's basically the function of the Smart Nav 5. You have your GPS, you have your FM, your sound. You can touch them up here to go to them as well. But the apps here are just as easy. There's going to be a few changes on this mirror, but what you're seeing now is pretty much a finished product. If you have any further questions, you can dial 888-587-4111 or go to apptronics.com, app-tronics.com. You'll get to learn more about the system and see some further videos, but it's basically user friendly. The more you use it, the more you get used to it. Some of the apps won't run when the car is in motion, the video player for instance, and you won't be able to use the GPS or add or change things while the car is in motion. It will still continue to give you your turn-by-turn directions, but if you need to make a change, the car does need to stop. It's the same with the video player. Everything else, again, is for safety and convenience, and it's the best functioning smart mirror in existence. So if you need looking for a smart mirror, the Smart Nav from Apptronics is the best around.